Hi folks, and welcome to another Saturday morning Samoflange, part 2. I should say take 2. It was so funny. I was recording this podcast. I had an interruption. Instead of hitting pause, I hit stop and just erased everything. Now, thankfully, it was only 10 minutes into the podcast, but I hate that because now it doesn't feel as original. I'm retreading over what I just said, but that's okay. I didn't get into too much. So I didn't get into my top 5 Johnny Depp movies yet. That's because I am going to be talking about my top 5 Johnny Depp movies. I think all of us like Johnny Depp to some extent. I know some people do not. When I say that, someone in the comments is going to say, I hate Johnny Depp. Surely there's one movie you enjoy with Johnny Depp. And if not, I would suggest that you haven't seen every movie because he does a lot of different characters. Not all of are comedy, even though nowadays they are kind of quirky, dark comedies. But he just does what he likes, and he has tons of a nice big repertoire of movies to choose from. So I think he's an enjoyable character. Is he one of my favorite actors? Let me think about that. No, I don't think so. But will I see a movie that he's in? Yeah, probably so. Probably so. I enjoy Johnny Depp. Now, I will talk about 3 movies that are not my top 5 that my family, when I told them about this idea, they were suggesting these as their top 5 movies. And so it was, first off, I'll just start off with my brother. One of the movies that he really loves and would be in his top 5 that is not in mine is Rango. If anyone remembers Rango, it was a children's CGI. I would say children's. I thought it was children's. My brother says, oh, it's for adults too. It was a CGI movie where he's like a gecko or chameleon or lizard or something. And I remember laughing at it here and there and thinking it was all right, but it's been a while, so maybe I just need to rewatch that movie. Like I said, I hadn't rewatched it in a while, but I remember thinking, oh, it was all right. I didn't think anything special about it, but my brother just goes on and on and on about how great it was. I need to give it a second shot, so maybe I should. Maybe I should. But anyway, that one is not in my top 5. Now, my dad also had another suggestion of something for a top 5, and it's one of his favorite movies. He still remembers it pretty well today, even though a lot of people, even myself, I don't think about this movie when I think about Johnny Depp. And it's called Nick of Time. If you never saw this, it's actually a pretty cool movie because everything happens in real time. And it was the first time anything like this had happened before. This predates the show 24, which I think got the idea for a real-time show from this movie, because it wasn't that many years later that it came out 24. My dad had rented Nick of Time, absolutely loved it, told us we had to watch it, so we watched it with him. He was watching it again. He's like, look, everything happens in real time. That's real time. You know, Dad was just, he was just intrigued by the concept, which was really cool, I gotta admit. Now, it didn't make my top 5, I'll be honest, talking to Dad, it almost got into my top 5, but then I realized, I said, no, I don't remember it that well. And I don't want to put a number 5 in there that I don't remember, that well. Now, I would watch this movie again. Maybe I should check it out again. But I remember it being worth your time. And that's what got my dad. My dad never watched TV. I mean, besides, if it wasn't ESPN or the news, Dad wasn't watching it. Now, today, Dad watches a lot of news again. He's kind of slumped back into his sports and news thing. And there's no sports on, so it's just news now. Is all he really watches. But he used to watch a ton of TV shows back in the day. I mean, a ton. He watched more TV shows than I did. And what started was 24. Dad was a fan of that real-time format. And, of course, Jack Bauer is like who Dad dreams he wishes he was. He loves Jack Bauer. Jack Bauer is an awesome character. I'll be honest, I've enjoyed 24 too. And I have a lot of good memories watching 24 with my dad, which was a lot of fun. Even they had that short season, that mid, I can't remember what it was. It's like a short little comeback season, which I was really hoping they'd do more, because it was always fun. And Dad didn't like that one as much, but because they changed up some of the other side characters. But it's always fun to see Jack Bauer. And by the way, watching 24 with my dad has got to be probably one of the best things in the world. You think you enjoy watching a TV show? Please watch 24 with my dad. Watching 24 with my dad. He yells at the end of every episode because the seconds tick down. It's like, whoa! Or he's asleep because he fell asleep during the most exciting part of it. Cracks me up. He'll say quotes again. He'll laugh when Jack Bauer kills someone. That's always Dad's favorite episode. But Dad absolutely loved 24 back when it was out, and that's something you need to do. Another thing you need to do, you can't watch 24 with my dad since it doesn't come on anymore, and I don't think he's going to rewatch the series anytime soon. But you can watch a baseball game with my dad. And I'll be honest, watching baseball with my dad is friggin' hilarious. He's annoying when he's watching Alabama. He's an Alabama fan for football. But when he's watching the Braves, he's a big Braves fan. And when he watches baseball with the Braves, even if you're not a sports fan, you're going to love Dad. Dad's going to get there. He's going to stand there and say, look at him. He's just digging in the dirt. Here, just throw it in there. Why don't you just roll it on the ground? He'll swing at it if it's that low. And Dad just goes on and just mocks each batter or the pitchers or the coaches and it's on his own team. It's the Braves. And he just goes on and on. But he'll do imitations and he'll go over the top. And you just laugh. You just laugh. I don't know if he's trying to be. I mean, he is trying to be funny, I guess, a little bit. But the thing is, though, he doesn't laugh. He's really kind of mad. And it's just so funny. He finds one player on the Braves, a starting player. And Dad automatically hates him from day one. And for the rest of the season, Dad does nothing but complain about him. Uses a guy who's not batting very well, a guy who's making errors out in the field or something. That's who Dad's usually making fun of. But I'll be honest, watching him watch baseball is so entertaining. It is well worth your time. Last year I hadn't caught a game with Dad for a while, and then just happened to be over the house, saw him, and we watched the game together. And I remember telling my brother, I said, dude, I forgot how much fun it was watching a game with Dad. And he goes, oh, man, every time I can make it, I'll make it over there to watch the game, just to watch it with Dad, because watching a game with Dad is awesome. I was like, I know, it's great. So it's really funny. I remember one time I watched a football game with him. Not really. Dad was in the room. He was just dead asleep. I walked in, slammed the door to wake him up. Dude didn't wake up. Old man didn't wake up. So then I sat there, watched the game, and said, well, he's going to wake up and see me there. Dad never woke up. I said, you know what? I'm going to get something to eat. So I clinked around in the kitchen. I wasn't trying to be quiet. Made some noise. Popped something in the microwave. It beeped and everything. Came out. I thought, when he smells food, he's going to wake up. So I got some hot food. I'm eating it, watching the game, cheering at times, going, oh, like that. Dad is still asleep. I know he's asleep because I can hear him snoring. I'm like, you're kidding me. This dude is still asleep. I watched the entire first half of that football game. It was Vandy versus Arkansas. And then I said, you know what? This sucks. I'm going to leave. So I just left. And then I told Dad yesterday, I said, hey, Dad, did you see the Vandy-Arkansas game? He's like, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. I went, no, you didn't see it because I watched the first half with you and you were dead asleep the whole time. And the thing is, Dad can laugh at himself. He's like, no, was it? Was it really? Was it really? Oh, he's laughing and everything. But that was my dad. Now, there you go. There's something new. There's something I didn't reveal in the first take of this podcast. So I am getting some new stuff in there. Anyway, the third family member is the missus. And I know if the missus was here talking about her top 5 Johnny Depp movies, then it has to include A Secret Window for her. She is a huge Secret Window fan. I think she would agree with some of my list. Let me look at my list here real quick. She would probably agree with maybe 2 actually on my list. I don't think she'd agree with all of them. But Secret Window's got to be one of her top 5 films of all time with Johnny Depp. She absolutely loves Johnny Depp in Secret Window. He's playing a serious character. He's a writer up in a cabin trying to write a book. Things are happening to him. It's a decent film. It wouldn't make my top 5, but it made her top 5. And here's the reason why. She had a really great memory of watching this movie. And I want to know, let me know in the comments, if you had any good memories of watching a movie. The movie wasn't that good, but just because you had good memories of watching it, you'll watch it again because it just reminds you of the first time you watched it. Let me digress here. The missus actually watched this with her sister the first time. In the movie, there's product placement. He's eating a bag of Doritos. He's always eating Doritos while he thinks on his writing. And so my wife and her sister paused and they said, hey, let's get a bag of Doritos. So they ate Doritos and watched the movie. And so every time, and my wife will watch the movie every time, she'll watch it any time, but when she watches it, she has to have Doritos. That is her food. Now, besides popcorn, I don't really have a food that I got to watch when watching a movie. I mean, I'll eat sometimes when watching a movie, but it has to be what are we watching? Oh, I got to get a Snickers bar to watch this. No, I don't. I don't have that. I mean, maybe if I watch Super Size Me again, I would definitely have to order McDonald's. Okay, because I was hankering for McDonald's after that movie about against McDonald's. It made me want McDonald's more. But anyway, the movies I want to talk about. The Secret Window is not my top five either. I do have movies I do not like about Johnny Depp, and I think I want to talk about those as well. And I got time here because Johnny Depp is he's not. I mean, I won't run to the theaters to see a Johnny Depp movie, but I won't. I'm not against watching Johnny Depp. I enjoy most Johnny Depp movies. Now, some of the movies are kind of meh, which I'm not going to mention here, but there are some that I just don't think are very good at all, and I think I'm going to go ahead and just mention those now. My number 5 movies I don't like with Johnny Depp, Mordecai. I mean, Mordecai is him being silly and stupid, and nothing happening. It's not funny either. And it's really weird because I thought it would be better, but it's not. Like, I remember seeing the ads. I told my wife, we can watch this. Man, it didn't last in theaters, but just for a few weeks, and it was gone. And so we had to red box it when it came out, and we watched it. I was like, man, that wasn't that good, I really didn't like that movie at all. There's another one he did called Dark Shadows. I wasn't a big fan of either, but the thing is, I don't know how well it played to the old TV show from the 70s it was trying to emulate. I mean, maybe it did a good job. I don't know. I mean, maybe a Dark Shadows fan could tell me if they enjoyed that movie. But since it's off a previous established IP, I didn't really get it as much. I said maybe I'm missing a few things since I never watched the movie. So I gave that one a pass, and I did put at number 5 this movie because Mordecai I don't think is based off anything else, and it's just really bad. It's just not good at all. My number 4 is one that a lot of people would agree with me on, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Man, anyone who thinks this is better than Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is just dumb. I'm sorry. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Gene Wilder is Willy Wonka, and that is just a fantastic film. And when you look at the new film, I was excited when it was going to come out because Tim Burton, Johnny Depp. Yeah, I'm interested. It didn't look like Johnny Depp was doing his impersonation of Gene Wilder. He was going to do his own thing. Okay, sounds good. And I heard, as we always hear in remakes, it's going to stay truer to the novel, unlike Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory did. Okay, great. Man, it sucked. Johnny Depp was not good in it. Oompa Loompas were boring. I hated the music for the Oompa Loompas. Supposedly Tim Burton wanted each song to be different, and Danny Elfman agreed, and he shouldn't have, because none of them were catchy. Most of them were stupid, and the whole time you're like, when is this going to be over? It's really an annoying movie when you think about it. It's not that good at all. I did not like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at all, and I absolutely love Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Okay, so number 3, some people may get upset with this, but he wasn't the main star, but I think he was the villain in this one. It was the Harry Potter spin-off movie, Beast and Where to Find Them. Fantastic Beast movie. The second one, The Crimes of Griswold, or Grindelwald, I think. Grindelwald. And Johnny Depp in that movie is no good. No, I was excited because I didn't like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I didn't like the spin-off. I think the spin-offs are kind of lame. And I remember I almost fell asleep during it because it was so boring. And then the second one we missed in theaters, so we rented. And I think I did fall asleep during it. I was just so bored. I was happy that Johnny Depp was in. I was like, oh, maybe this will be better. And it was still boring. It was still bad. And Johnny Depp wasn't good in it. He wasn't good in it. Those movies are just not interesting to me. And I kind of enjoyed the Harry Potter movies when they were out. Yeah, they didn't follow the films, but they were okay. Me and my wife just recently rewatched them, I think, last year, and they were fine. But the spin-offs are just, the Fantastic Beasts spin-offs are just awful, I think. They're just terrible. And I don't think that's a good film. Okay, number 2 may make a lot of people upset, because I know a lot of people would probably put this movie in their top 5. I cannot stand it. I think it's only because I saw another movie that I think is absolutely horrible. Is this one not number 1? I struggled with putting this at number 1 too, because Fear and Loathing Las Vegas, I don't care what you say, it sucks. It sucks. It's so stupid. It's incoherent. I know it's based off of some some book series, right, or something like that. Didn't he do something else like that called The Rum Diaries? I don't think I enjoyed that one either. But I remember Fear and Loathing. I was excited to see it because everyone had told me good things. And that movie was awful, awful, awful. I'll never even watch it again. I think it's such a terrible movie. Now, I know Rango pokes fun at the movie, like does a slight little CGI crossover with Fear and Loathing. But I was like, I don't care. I think that movie was stupid. So everyone was so happy because they love Fear and Loathing Las Vegas. And Rango made a comment toward it. Or he actually gets to meet the same character from Fear and Loathing Las Vegas. And it just like one little cameo appearance. But I was like, that's not a big deal for me because Fear and Loathing Las Vegas is absolute garbage. It's absolute garbage. I have no idea why everyone loves that movie. I cannot understand. Okay, moving on, I just realized that my mic is not working. So I don't know where, this must be recorded through my regular computer audio. That sucks. That absolutely sucks. So, I guess I'm going to have to fix something later on. So, this podcast may not sound the same. Oh, that sucks. Anyway, all right. Well, then I'm just going to keep talking because there's no way I'm going to record this for a third time. My number one movie from Johnny Depp that I absolutely hate is called Dead Man. Dead Man is stupid. I even saw the best movies of the 90s, and Dead Man was in it. Because they're like saying, oh, Dead Man, Dead Man's going to be, that's a really good movie. You should watch it. It's a unique Johnny Depp experimental film. What it sucks. It's awful. I even watched, it was a recommended movie from the 90s. I said, oh, with Johnny Depp, I never saw this. There's a reason. It sucks. It is horrible. And I hate Fear and Loathing Las Vegas, but I would watch it again. If I was forced to between the two, that's how I decided who would be my number one. I guess if I'd watched Fear and Loathing, I would never watch Dead Men again. It's just so terrible. Such a terrible movie. So Johnny Depp is not infallible. He makes bad movies too. All right, so let's get into the top 5 movies from Johnny Depp that I really do enjoy. Number 5 is going to shock a few people because I think not many people remember this movie, but Once Upon a Time in Mexico. It was a sequel to Desperado, which was a great film. It was back when Antonio Banderas was at the height of his film career. And he went back and revisited his character from Desperado. And this is the sequel to it. And actually the third part of a trilogy, if you think about El Mariachi being the first movie. That's for those movie nerds out there. But anyway, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Johnny Depp plays the villain. And he does a fantastic job. I mean, to be honest, it's pretty stinking good. It's pretty stinking good. So Once Upon a Time in Mexico, he plays this awesome character who just kills people at no whim. Like there's a great scene where he says he always orders the same thing from each little restaurant or bar, and they're all mediocre. But this guy's whatever it was, chimichanga or whatever it was, is just so perfect that he has to kill him because he likes everyone being equal. And this guy is so superior a cook above the rest, he has to kill him. And so he has Antonio Banderas try it. He went, what do you think? And Antonio Banderas is walking away. He spits out the food like it's terrible. But he's trying to do that to kind of save the chef. But it didn't matter because Johnny Depp's going to kill him anyway. And then not to do too many spoilers here, but the guy does lose his eyesight and he's bleeding from his eyes. And there's just so many cool scenes with Johnny Depp at the end of this movie. It's just fantastic. So, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, fantastic movie for Johnny Depp. My number 4 is another one that I don't know if many people remember this one, and there's a few here that I like, but Donnie Brasco. Donnie Brasco is when he's with Al Pacino, and he's basically a secret agent trying to uncover and use Al Pacino's character to expose the rest of the ring there. And Al Pacino he's befriended him, and they become friends. It's a really good film. I saw this again a couple of years ago, and I still enjoy it. Now, this is 2 serious movies so far that I picked with Johnny Depp. I do like his goofy stuff, and we'll get to some of his goofy stuff later. But when he takes a serious role, man, he can really move that serious role, and Donnie Brasco is fantastic. I thought about adding Blow to this list, but if I remember correctly, I enjoyed Blow, but it just wasn't as good. I know it's not as good as Donnie Brasco or Once Upon a Time in Mexico, but I guess Blow would be an honorable mention. But Donnie Brasco, well worth your time if you haven't seen it already. And if you haven't seen it in a while, it's well worth a rewatch too. Okay, so my number 3, this is where we're getting to the goofy stuff. It's the Pirates of the Caribbean. Of course it is, right? I honestly think it's one of Johnny Depp's most memorable characters. Obviously, it's one of the most lovable characters. And I've always loved Captain Jack Sparrow. Even, how many movies did it go? 4 or 5 movies? Even though I think it was the 5th movie, had 0 funny moments in it, because Jack Sparrow's character kind of peaked. The 4th movie had some okay stuff in it, but the 5th movie, nah. The only thing that was funny, and I called it when we watched in the theater, because we watched the movie, and there's one real funny part where Jack Sparrow is running through the grass, these tall blades. Well, then he trips and falls, and then he gets up real quick, and he attacks the blade of grass with his sword, like it attacked him, and then he runs off. And it was a really funny scene. And then after it was over, I turned to my wife and said, I bet that was an outtake. I bet that was just Johnny Depp ad-libbing from an outtake. Sure enough, when the movie comes out, they do a behind-the-scenes thing on DVD that says during one of the takes, he tripped and fell and attacked the blades of grass and ran off, and they decided to keep that shot. It's supposed to be a simple shot of him just running through the grass, but they kept that shot because they thought it was funny. And so I remember I turned to my wife and said, I told you. That was it. That was just that was just an outtake. And when an outtake is the funniest thing in your movie, it could be poorly written, I'll be honest, but even Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow couldn't save that film. I think 4th movie had a lot of funny scenes with Johnny Depp in it. Did anyone see that? Because I will not be doing that again. That's a great quote, man. I actually like that part. And the 5th movie's not bad because, of course, as some of you know, without giving too many spoilers, it wraps up the original trilogy too, in a way, at the very end, which I thought was nice. They're not making any more because the 5th one didn't do that well. I don't think there needs to be a 6th Pirates of the Caribbean, only because there's obviously from the 5th one, there's nothing else they can do unless they get just like a massively good script. But the first film in this is a solid film. The films are fun. Like I said, they're not all the best, but that character that he plays, Jack Sparrow, you gotta admit, it's a great character. Movie classic. That's why it's my number 3. Okay, number 2. I had a hard time deciding which was going to be number 1 and number 2. I really did, because I like both of these films almost equally. So my number 2 is Sleepy Hollow. Folks, Sleepy Hollow, he plays Ichabod Crane, a kind of sissy, scaredy cat guy who goes to this town, of course, is investigating the mystery of the Headless Horseman. Not only does it look great, it's directed by Tim Burton, it's just a great movie. Equally well-paced, excellent movie, looks awesome. Now, here's the deal. Besides Star Wars films, I never went to go see a movie more than once in the theaters. I saw Sleepy Hollow 3 times in the theaters. I saw it the first time, was totally amazed, and the second time was my favorite. A buddy of mine who's not around anymore, he passed away years ago, but he was a younger kid, we were friends, and he wanted to go see the Sleepy Hollow movie, but didn't have anyone to go with. I said, dude, I'll go with you. Well, I'd already seen it, and I was like, yeah, you're going to love this. Well, we both loved the film. We were just cracking up, loving the film, excellent. And then after everyone left, he turned to me, he grabbed me during the credits, and went, hey, why don't we just stay here and watch it again? It's going to come on again. I went, John, they're not going to let us do that. He went, yeah, they will. Dude, he said, these guys don't care. They clean up, and then you just tell them you're here for the other show. And I was like, okay, but if they ask us to leave, we're gone. He went, okay. And so they didn't ask us to leave. We stayed. More people started sitting in. I started laughing. I said, shut up. Are we really going to watch this movie back to back? He said, yeah. And so I went and got some more popcorn and everything. I felt bad for not paying for the ticket. But no one asked us to leave. It was really weird. They just cleaned up around us while we were talking. So I don't know. But anyway, I guess they didn't care. So then we watched it back to back. So in a way, that's kind of cheating. But I did watch it 3 times in theaters. I don't watch a movie more than once in theaters, usually. Okay? I just don't. It's not worth it. But, man, Sleepy Hollow, and I watched it back to back, which is really wild because every time I watch a movie, I'm not like I need to watch that again. I never say that, but I was just so excited after seeing Sleepy Hollow again and thinking how great a movie this is. I said, you know what? Let's watch it again. Let's try it again. Let's do it. And so we did. We watched it again. We played it again. And it's great. If you never seen Sleepy Hollow, oh, I know. What are you thinking, man? It's just great. I don't care if you don't like Tim Burton, you don't like quirky Johnny Depp. I mean, it's a different type of Johnny Depp. He's a sissy. He's a scaredy cat. It's just a great movie. I think Christina Ricci is in it. I really don't like her either that much, but she's good in this. If I think it's her, I can't remember. I'm terrible at actress names, but anyway, overall the movie's great. It's in my DVD collection. It's very, let me see here. Once Upon a Time in Mexico is also in my DVD collection. So those are the only two that are in my DVD collection. The Missus has the Pirates movies. But Sleepy Hollow, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, I own. So I can watch them whenever I want to. Because I do. Every other Halloween, we'll watch Sleepy Hollow. I try to pop it in. I just love the film. I think it's great. So my number one that I don't own, and I probably should, because I really do enjoy this really, I would say unknown, but since Johnny Depp's such a big actor, I'm sure people have heard of the movie. They just haven't watched it before because it's done in black and white. No, it's not Dead Man, which is horrible. It is Ed Wood. Ed Wood is based on the biography of the actual infamously terrible director Ed Wood, who did Plan 9 from Outer Space. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, you must not be that big of a movie buff. It's Plan 9 from Outer Space is one of the cheapest, dumbest movies ever. Just lame movies. It's just lazy. It was voted one of the worst movies ever made. And it has a big cult following. Now, I've seen the actual real film. It is bad. It is done extremely on the cheap. That's what Ed Wood would do. He'd make these cheap little movies and then throw them out there, ring them for everything they were worth, and then go out and make another cheap, stinking movie. But he loved movies, and he also was, and this is in real life, which they depicted in the movie, he was friends with Bela Lugosi, as Bela Lugosi had kind of been a drug addict. He was an older man now. I think he was addicted to morphine. I can't remember. But anyway, he was kind of a forgotten actor back then, but he starred in a lot of Ed Wood films. Ed Wood would get some B-roll footage of Bela Lugosi just sitting there talking or doing soundovers, and then he would use that footage later on of Bela Lugosi. Sometimes it'd be at his house. He just filmed Bela Lugosi doing stupid stuff and just did that in the movie. Just things that didn't relate to anything else. But, so he's kind of infamous for having Bela Lugosi's, movie career move on in a little way past his prime. So if you want to see some of Bela Lugosi's final performances, like he died before they could finish Plan 9 from Outer Space, so they had to get a body double in there for some of the shots. But anyway, it all kind of depicts his friendship with Bela Lugosi, him making Plan 9 from Outer Space, and just being a weird dude. He was a cross-dresser back then, when it was highly unacceptable in Hollywood, if you can believe that. And so, like I said, it's done in black and white, but it's just a beautiful film. And it is a Tim Burton film, and everyone's like, oh, Matt, Tim Burton, come on, Tim Burton and Johnny Depp, I mean, they make a good team. Like I said, not every time it's a hit with those two, but Ed Wood, solid film. Now, I know people are shocked they didn't put Edward Scissorhands. I like Edward Scissorhands. I think it's good. But I think Johnny Depp has done better in his career since then. So that's fine. Please don't name Nightmare on Elm Street being your favorite Johnny Depp film. He was just in it. Okay? Yeah, look, Johnny Depp, a young Johnny Depp. Yeah, and he came back in the final Nightmare for a guest star appearance, just real quick. He did a commercial inside of the TV from the movie. Like, this is your brain on drugs. This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. He said, this is your brain, and this is your brain when Freddy gets hold of it. He goes, any questions? Johnny Depp came back, I don't know. Let me see. What else is another one that everyone may be shocked I didn't put? There's another one. I didn't write it down here, but I can't remember. But Johnny Depp's he's made some decent films. I can't remember the claymation one he did, Corpse Bride. I know my little niece will watch that till the day she dies. She loves Corpse Bride. And gosh, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, you missed this one. You didn't say this one." And yeah, there's a lot I didn't say that I think are fine. I like, Benny and June's all right. What's eating Gilbert Grape? It's okay, man. Astronaut's Wife. Transcendence was okay. I mean, all these other films, but for my money, yeah, those are the best ones. They don't beat Ed Wood. Ed Wood's just classic good stuff. All right, folks. Well, that is all the time I have for now. We'll see you next time on more Saturday Morning Samoflange.